down, it means 538 yards from right here.
Hey folks, Randy Newberg here. Hope you're doing well today. We're continuing our application video series to help you get a tag in 2024. And today we're going to talk about my home state of Montana. The most complicated of every Western state. If complicated was on a scale of 1 to 10, Montana would be a 10 and all the other states would be a 2 or 3. I wish it was different, but that's how it is. If you want way more detail than what we're going to cover in this video, go out to Go Hunt. They have a strategy article about Montana. Those guys get into all the gory details. And if you go to Go Hunt and sign up for Insider and use promo code Randy, they'll put $50 of credit in your gear shop account. So we always have an April 1 deadline. So April 1, 2024 is your deadline. If for some reason you miss that deadline, you're going to be able to come back and buy points in July, August, and September. But it's even better not to miss the draw. Some big changes for 2024 to think about. Those of you who normally would pick up a doe tag in Region 6 and Region 7, which are eastern Montana, those doe tags now are only valid on private land. Some region 4 units for mule deer are going to limited entry mule deer for mule deer bucks. And those are mostly areas along the Missouri River in that breaks country. We'll get into this later, but if you purchase a point as part of this year's application, you get to use that point in this year's application. So if you check the box, yeah, I'll buy a point this year. Well, guess what? You get to use it this year. Some people will not check that box and they'll go buy a point later on in the summer in that point purchase period. Well, they don't get to use that point until the following year. So you'll see 3 categories in the Montana application that when you go online, it'll say the deer elk. I'll use the terms they use. The big game combo, which is deer and elk, upland bird, and fishing. That one's going to cost you $1,242. Then they have what they call the elk combo. And the reason they call it combo is it combines with upland bird and fishing. Well, the elk combo is $1,048. The deer combo, again, because it's combined with upland bird and fishing, is $724. Now, on top of that, you got to buy a base hunting license, you got to buy a conservation license, and all that comes to, I think, $25 for non-residents. Then our points for preference points in the general draw, that's going to cost you $100. Bonus points are going to cost you $20. And whatever's in your cart, you're going to get charged 20 cents for a transaction fee and 3% for a credit card fee. I don't know where the 20-cent transaction fee comes from. Maybe that's a rounding error for buying coffee for whoever the IT department is who runs the draw. But a couple things you need to know. And we're going to walk through this, how general tags are on a preference point system for you non-residents. Limited entry tags are on a bonus point system where we square the bonus points and you're competing with residents for up to 10% of those limited entry tags. In Montana, you don't automatically get a point. You must affirmatively check the box to say, I want to be in the point system, and then they will charge you the fee. You can only get 1 point per year unless you sign with an outfitter, in which case you're allowed to buy 2 preference points for your general tag. For the general tags, Montana never lets you accumulate more than 3 preference points, but for the limited entry tags, there's no cap on how many bonus points you can accumulate. Confused? If not, you should be. Either that or you're really good at following incomplete, messy, and foggy instructions. So for this, I'm going to take us into my office. I drew this out on the whiteboard to explain it to the editor of exactly what I'm talking about. And maybe when we go through that on my whiteboard, it'll all make more sense. So join me. We're going to go there right now. We're going to walk through how Montana allocates the 17,000 big game combo tags. And I've got these 4 fictitious non-resident applicants, Jace, Michael, Marcus, and Matthew. And each of them are going to be in a different scenario. So I think I've covered every possibility of what could happen in the Montana draw. Let's walk through it. First thing you need to know is these are general tags. Your first hurdle that you have to clear is you need to get a general tag. You can't get into the limited entry draw until you get a general tag. So these 17,000 big game combo tags are all general tags. And with that, you get a deer and an elk tag if that's what you want. And it uses a preference point system. It goes from 0 to 3. You can never have more than 3 points. 75% of the tags, they start at the top and work their way down. Everyone with 3 points, anyone between 2 and 3 points, anyone with 2 points. And once that 12,750 tags are gone, they take the rest of them, 4,250, and they start at 0 and work their way up. That's what creates this 1 point sandwich that I always call. People with 1 point have worse draw odds in Montana than people with 0 points. I know, that doesn't make sense, but I'm here to tell you that's how it works. So, you got to draw your general tag because I put a question mark there. This is kind of the decision tree or the flow chart. Jace has 3 points. He draws his general tag. Michael has 2 points. He draws his general tag. Marcus has 1 point. He strikes out. Matthew has 0 points. He draws his general tag. So this is pretty indicative. Across the board, about 3/4 of the people will draw their Montana general tag. But the people who usually are left out in the cold are the folks with 1 point. So Marcus didn't draw. We're going to go put him over here on the side for step 3. The other 3 applicants have the chance to apply for limited entry tags. Well, Jay says, no, I know where there's a big bull living on public land. I'm not even going to apply in that limited entry draw. That's stupid. So we're going to just, right now, issue Jace his general big game combo tag. He's done. Michael says, you know, I want to go hunt one of those limited entry units, so I want to go over here in step 2, which is the limited entry draw that has a 10% non-resident cap. So you're competing with residents for up to 10% of the tags. And Matthew, he says, yeah, I want to go over here in step 2 and I want to be in this limited entry draw also. Well, as is normally the case, non-residents don't do very good in Montana's limited entry draw. So Michael is unsuccessful, Matthew's unsuccessful. Well, now what are their options? Well, they have a chance to check the box in their application that says, do I want to keep my general tag or do I want to refund my general tag based on the results of the limited entry draw? Well, the easy part is Matthew says, you know what, if I'm unsuccessful in the limited entry draw, I still want to keep my general big game combo tag. So Matthew comes down here, he's here with Jace. Now they both have their general big game combo tag. Michael says, you know what, I was really hoping that I could get a limited entry tag because I know where there's a big bull in this limited entry unit. I didn't draw, so I'm going to put my tag right on the same day of the draw. I'm going to ask for an 80% refund, and I'm going to throw my tag over here for all these people like Marcus who are trying to get the reissued tags. These are tags that get reissued the same day of the draw because of non-residents who return them when not getting their limited entry tag. Well, Marcus is in this draw, and he draws one of these reissued tags. But he only can, by this time, all the limited entry tags are gone. So this is all he can get. And here's what happens. When they release the draw results on like April 14th or 15th, Marcus's draw results would say unsuccessful big game combo, successful reissue draw. And non-residents are like, what does that mean? It says I was unsuccessful, but I'm successful. What it means is you were unsuccessful up here, but you were successful here. So, end result is 3 of our 4 people end up with a big game combo tag. But that's how it works in Montana. We, like I said, we wrote the book on complexity, and now let's go back into the studio, and I will tell you some more of the aspects of the Montana draw. Hopefully, seeing it laid out in a flow chart in my accountant versions of diagrams makes it a little more clear. With all that I showed you there, one of the things you saw that people can return a tag before August 1st and get an 80% refund. And a lot of people do that. So you get to raise your hand, check the box and say, I want to be involved in this returned tag process later in the summer. And sometime, I think it's in July, FWP, Fish, Wildlife, and Parks, takes that list and they do what they call, they randomize it. In other words, no points are considered, nothing is considered. They just put you in a random order. And as those tags start getting returned, they start filling them from the top to the bottom. So if you don't draw your Montana tag, that is another option later on in the summer. Go out to the Fish, Wildlife, and Parks website. It'll explain how you can do that. So let's get into a few other aspects of the Montana draw. As non-residents, you'll see that you can do party applications. And I think it's anywhere from 2 to 5 is considered a party application. They average the number of points that you have among all of you. They don't round up or round down. They average it and it becomes the full decimal. Now be careful if you do that on a bonus or a limited entry tag, because you guys are competing for 10% of the limited entry tags. And if you do a big party application over here and there's only 2 tags left, but there's 3 of you on an application, you're not going to get your tag. So youth applicants got to have passed hunter education, and you must turn 12 by January 16th, 2025. Don't ask me why they picked that date. Most states says you got to be 12 by the day that you go hunting. Hunter education. If you're old like me, you get a pass, but if you're born after January 1, 1985, you got to have hunter education. Montana slides their dates according to the calendar. They move back and forth a little bit. This year, the general archery season, which is 6 weeks long, runs from September 7th to October 20th. The rifle season starts the following weekend after archery closes, and that's 5 weeks from October 26th through December 1st. And then a little bit after that, we have a 9-day muzzleloader season. This year runs December 14th to December 22nd. So you got a lot of chance to come if you get a Montana tag. You get archery, rifle, muzzleloader, and you get to do all of that on the same general tag. And know that most of Montana is general tags for both deer and elk. As far as places to hunt, there's a lot of places to hunt in Montana. We're about 35% public land, 65% is private land. And the further east you go, the more private. The further west you go, the more public. Now, we do also have a program called the Block Management Program. It pays private landowners for the impacts of allowing public hunting. And last year, that was 6.8 million acres was enrolled in that program. And this summer, they'll re-enroll as many of those landowners as they can. There's two types. There's the type 1 where you just show up, sign into the box, and off you go. There's a type 2 where it's a reservation system. Though I think it'll be sometime in August when those booklets come out and when it's updated on the website about what properties have enrolled for this year. Your hunting license and conservation license, that mandatory prerequisite that you must purchase, gives you the right to hunt on state trust lands. And some of you might say, well, what are state trust lands? If you're looking at your map, they're going to be these little powder blue squares. Those are owned by the Montana State Land Board and managed by the Department of Natural Resources and Conservation. We are paying a fee as part of our base license package that allows you to go and hunt those little blue state land properties. Montana, unlike a lot of you who come here from your states, private property in Montana does not have to be posted. So if you see private property on your map, you need permission. In some states, it's, hey, if it's not posted, I can go. That is not the case in Montana. Respect the rights of these private property owners and do not trespass. This is one that people think I'm just trying to discourage you from hunting in Montana, and it's not that at all. But I want to be realistic. Montana's deer numbers are in the crapper as bad as I've ever seen them in my 33 years living here. We had really bad drought in 2018, 19, 20, and 21. We finally get some moisture in 2022, followed by the worst winter in 30 years. Most of our deer herds in the units and regions that are the breadbasket of deer in Montana, which are regions 4, 5, 6, and 7, the deer numbers are 50% of their long-term averages. Think about that. 50% of the long-term average. They are not doing well. So if you come here with a deer tag in your pocket, I'm just giving you a heads up that it's not that good. So adjust your expectations accordingly. So hopefully that covers everything. If you don't draw, think about the leftovers that get returned sometime over the summer. That's another option. If you want more detail, go out to Go Hunt, sign up for Insider, use promo code Randy. They'll put $50 of credit in the gear shop for you. And know that Montana has some really good hunting. But I'd say right now, if you had to measure where we're at in my history of being here, we're in one of those valleys, not one of those peaks. Good luck. April 1st. That's also April Fool's Day, but it's the Montana deadline day. Hope you get your tag this year in 2024.